Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Heavy Hitters. I am your host, Michael Grady. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the show tonight. Tonight's topic tonight is very intriguing topic, but I just want to start by asking people. Well, I'm 43 years old. I just wanted to start by asking people, do you guys remember the game Simon Says? Yeah, I know a lot of people don't remember that game because a lot of people didn't go outside to play. But when I was coming up as a kid, we played this game called Simon Says, and it was basically, you had one person give out directives to a group of people, and if you got it wrong, you was out. Tonight's topic is basically on that same platform that I want to use, and I want to try to implement and try to talk about how the game Simon Says actually can go hand in hand with what we see in America today. So that's why the topic of today is the clear topic is America, or can we say even the government, the modern day Simon Says? So, like I said, guys, I really thought about this topic, man, because I was thinking, like, with everything that's going on in the media right now, you see a lot of things coming from Washington, D.C. You see a lot of things coming from politicians. You see a lot of things coming from, major influences that have pretty much say so on what the everyday person do in their everyday life. And it can be good and it can be bad on both sides, but a lot of things has been transpiring that's not been beneficial for the American people. So with that being said, I thought that was a pretty good illustration to try to talk about why I feel like, people in Washington, D.C. are playing the leader of Simon Says, and we as Americans are dictated by what we actually do. And even if we make the slightest mistake on anything, we're out. We're basically taking off. We're basically taking off the game, taking out the game. That's what I wanted to use. So with that being said, I'm gonna talk about a little bit more things about the whole it factor that I feel like, politicians nowadays, and we can't blame these politicians because we put them in offices. So the only way we can actually rectify a problem that's in Washington is to do what, people? We got to vote people out. So, like I said, some of the things we talk about, we see on the news now, certain politicians, certain governors may be making decisions that may not be beneficial even to women, like even with the abortion thing. Like a lot of people are catching flack of their own views, and at the same time, some people don't feel like the views that be given by these politicians are actually beneficial to them. And I totally agree. A woman has the right to say whatever they want or do what they want when it comes down to abortion. I feel that, but like I said, we put these people in places to where they make these decisions, and at the same time, they feel like the decision is justified, but morally, it's totally unethical. So like I said, when I talk about the illustration with Simon Says, I'm going to put the topic up here because it's very important to me, because I feel like we give certain people a lot of leeway. If you guys was looking at the Facebook promo that I put up, I know you guys saw a picture of Donald Trump up there. Yeah, it was funny, but Donald Trump was holding up an L to everybody. And when he was holding up that L, because of course he served the last 4 years in the White House, which is I mean, rightfully so. He earned that right. He was president of the United States, even though a lot of people don't like it. The simple fact that he was a major influence to a lot of people within the United States. And it's funny because the same people that was influenced by Donald Trump, those are the players of this game, Simon Says. Okay. So when I look at Donald Trump and like some of the things, some of the language he was using to get his followers to, come on board, it was just a verbal command. And some people was following it. And when people didn't follow it, they got off the bus. Either they got off or they quit, or even worse, they was fired by his administration because they didn't follow the rules. So with that being said, I'm going to go into why, certain things I feel like why it's like certain people within America are not feeling happy because they're being told and they're being dictated to why. If you listen to me, and I'm talking for like a politician standpoint, if you listen to me, I have your best interest at heart. And in all actuality, some of these politicians don't have your best interest at heart. And I'm not even talking about Republicans. I'm talking about Democrats. I'm talking about both parties because, like I said, when they feel like they get on a certain stature, when they get to a certain level, and not all of these politicians are like that. You guys know who your politicians that you can trust or you can confide in. You can send notifications or concerns with what you see going on in your state. But some of these politicians just don't really give a damn. And it's sad for them to not care about them when we, the people, we put you in this position to look out for the best interest of your fellow man, which is us. But like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and start out with some of the things that, dealing with this whole issue of the Simon Says rule. And also, too, it's funny because I know some of these people will actually, if anybody's been watching Netflix, there's a series called Squid Games. I know you guys probably heard about it, but I just started watching Squid Games. Man, I'm telling you right now, that is pretty much what I see in America right now, because desperate times call for desperate measures. And if you watch that series Squid Games, you will see, from me presenting the information I'm about to talk to you guys about tonight, you will see that kind of go hand in hand on what we see going on in our government today. But let me go ahead and get into this topic. I want to go ahead and put some couple of statements and a couple of facts that I've read up on so I can present to you guys, so you guys can get a better understanding of what I'm talking about. Through the public is very unhappy with government generally. Yes, let's perfectly be clear on this. A lot of people are not happy, even right now, with what the administration is doing right now, because they feel like, you guys are in a position to make a difference and you choose not to. Americans are largely divided on key measures of their ability to influence how it is run. And when they saying that Americans are largely divided, we as Americans, we vote every time in this election. We put the best candidate that we feel is important to us into a certain position because we feel like the words that they put during their campaign, they're going to enforce those rules when they get in certain positions. But that's not true, people. That's not true. And in all actuality, the people are the ones that make the situation go for this country. Like, we are the people. We are the ones that make the decisions that, when our voice needs to be heard, not just our vote, but our voice needs to be heard, including the impact of voting on government activities. Yes, certain things that we vote on, we actually want to see that when we talk about certain things and we vote on certain things, we want to see those politicians, those lawmakers put those things in action. But in all actuality, sometimes it goes swept under the rug, or we don't even get to benefit what we actually put out for those politicians to actually understand. And actually, when we make them realize that when you see people protest, when you see people demanding what you want to talk about and what you feel like is just for every American person, you don't take that stuff into consideration. You don't take it serious enough, but yet you want our vote though. So if you want my vote, you got to listen to not only myself, but you got to listen to millions of people that's in this country that's got you in that position in the first place. Okay. So when I'm going to talk about some more stuff, when asked which statement comes closer to their own views, most Americans, and this is like straight up statistics, guys, I can't make this stuff up, but almost 58% say that voting gives people likely more, voting gives people like me some of the things knowing about the government that runs things. Let me say that again. Voting gives people like me some say about how the government runs things. So when you feel like you vote, you feel like your voice is like the outspoken thing. Like, listen, my vote, I'm going to vote on whether, should teenagers be able to buy cigarettes? I'm going to vote on the fact, should anyone be able to purchase a handgun? I'm going to vote on the fact that, should bisexuals or homosexuals be authorized in the military? Like, these are stuff that people are very passionate about, whether you like it or not. These are things that you present to people. And at the same time, if you feel like, if a politician don't feel like, listen, if it's not something that I can bestow on the American people, I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to be the person that sits there and say, well, you know what? If it wasn't for me, speaking on the politician level, if it wasn't for me, certain people wouldn't have this, that, and the third. And a lot of people get caught up in the okie doke on that aspect. A lot of people think that just because a politician, whether you Democrat or Republican or even independent, whatever they say, don't take that as, that's like written in stone, because in all actuality, it could be a sales ploy just to get your vote. And like I said, certain people they're not going to agree with. And like I'm gonna play both sides of the fence, people. If y'all listen right now, I'm gonna play both sides of the fence because I have some conservative views and I have liberal views. But at the end of the day, if I feel like something, I don't follow the majority. I follow what's in my heart. So what I feel is if it's something that's beneficial and it's very important to me and my children, my family, whomever. And like I said, I even care about people that I don't even know about, because we all got to live in this world. If I come to you as a politician, I hope someone, if you're even in any type of political affiliation whatsoever, if you're watching this podcast, good, because I really want you to hear this. If you feel like my vote really matters, then let my vote be heard when you make laws go for all people. When I mean by that, make sure that you don't You don't segregate a certain group of people from another just because, someone's tossing you money. Like these donations, a lot of these politicians get caught up on the donations. Should they get caught up on that? No, but at the same time, they're trying to be fair, but you're only being fair to a group of people. And I'm not talking about the rich. Poor people can vote too. So give them the same benefit of the doubt that you would give the rich as you would give to the poor. All right. The public is somewhat more skeptical when it comes to the ability or ordinary citizens to influence the government in Washington. What do you mean? What do people think when I say that? Okay, what do I mean when I say that? I feel like the public is somewhat more skeptical because when you get someone into the certain office and you get the doubts in the back of your mind, like, man, are they going to do what I asked them to do? And you give them time, you give them a time frame, and then all of a sudden you don't see nothing, you don't see anything that you talked about or anything that the masses of people talked about being executed. Now, I got to give you this. When Donald Trump was president and when the first day that he came out and said, we're going to build that wall, they started building the wall. They didn't finish it because of funding. But at the same time, he came through on his promise, whether you like it or not. And I know a lot of people that are, Trump supporters may feel that way. And like I said, the overall, regardless if you like it or not, he followed through on his promise. A lot of people looking at Biden right now, like, Biden, you've been in office for a long time. A lot of things is not happening the way you planned. And even with Kamala Harris, like I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and we was talking like, where in the world is she at? Like, you're the second in charge, but you're nowhere to be found. And I'm not knocking Kamala Harris. I think she's doing a great job for what she's actually been in a position. But it's more than just being a spokesman for the people. Like, you have to let the people see you too in the midst of all crisis. That's where the skepticism come in, because people will be more skeptical if they don't see you in the limelight, but yet you want to be like accepted as you're doing your fair share for this country, and along with everyone in this struggle that we're dealing with. And there's so many things that we're dealing with right now. You're dealing with the pandemic, you're dealing with the economy, you're dealing with social injustice, you're dealing with racism, you're dealing with all types of stuff. But for people to not actually care about that, and they say they care, but like I said, I'm a firm believer of your actions speak louder than your words. Start doing that, people in Washington. Because like I said, we put you in there to do a job. Start doing your job. It's simple as that. All right. So now I'm gonna give another statistic on reference to how people may feel about certain situations. Blacks, and that's 58%, and Hispanics, which is 57%, are more likely than whites, 47%, to say that ordinary citizens can influence the government in Washington if they're willing to make the effort. What do you mean? What do I mean when I say that? So another thing I had an issue with too, like when people don't vote, a lot of people feel like, well, my vote ain't gonna really matter. Bullshit. Your vote will matter. But you cannot say anything when you don't let your voice and your vote be heard. So if something that you don't like, but you didn't contribute to it and not say anything, like, you know what, if I say something, if I put my vote in with everybody else, I'm making a difference. I'm taking a stand on what I believe in. But if you don't have anything, if you don't go out and vote, what can you possibly say? You didn't make a difference. You didn't make a difference in, trying to change something. If it needs change, you're not trying to make a difference in whether you want something to be reformed. You did absolutely nothing. So for the people that really don't take their vote seriously, you gotta think twice, people. Your vote is very important. There's a lot of things that people feel like, if I don't even vote, or even if I do vote, my vote won't count for nothing. Yes, it will, man. Your vote counts. You know what I'm saying? It's huge. It's major. Please, whenever we get the chance to vote, if you're 18 years old, go out and vote. Get that vote out there and make sure it counts, because your vote will go a long way in how to make things change in this struggling economy, in this struggling country called America. Like, I can't make this stuff up. Just like everybody else feel like if we don't come together, you know what I'm saying, and we allow certain things to happen, we allow, like I said, the Simon Says rule. If someone that's in power says, I don't want you to associate with this people, you don't associate with them people. But then if you see what it is, it's causing some type of friction and conflict amongst everybody. We supposed to be Americans, y'all. Like at the end of the day, I feel like when we come together and stuff, we can't be like this. We can't be a broken country. You see this photograph right here? This photograph to me is very powerful. I look down and I see an American flag and I see it's cracking right in front of my face. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't sit there and just have people just allow us to be the person to where whenever they say, do as I say, we have to do. You know what I'm saying? You have your own identity. Don't make yourself feel like, you're not empowered when someone actually is in a higher stature to you. You know what I'm saying? You're a human being just like they are. So when it comes down to that, you gotta actually emphasize and stress the fact that, I'm a person, but I put you in a position. You don't call the shots. We the people call the shots. Let us give you the information that you could possibly use to make change or make reform or take us in a different direction than where we are today. Because today, right now, we're really struggling. And that's only because certain people can't get their act together. And you people know exactly what I'm talking about. I want to ask somebody this question right here. Anyone know what this word right here means? This word right here, dystopia. Okay. This word right here, when I looked up the definition of this word, and I had the definition, but when I looked up this definition, I really feel like this go hand in hand, clearly what I'm talking about tonight. But I'd like to go ahead and put up the definition right now. Uh, the word dystopia is an imaginary place where people are unhappy and usually afraid because they are not treated fairly. Now, we can sit there and say this. I can have a whole documentary on the fact that we know certain people are not treated fairly in this country. You got, like certain people that's not rich, different people of different cultures, different races. I can throw all types of things out there. But when I saw that word, regardless if it says the definition is an imaginary place, so this obviously is make believe. But the fact of the matter is that the things that it portrayed when it says people are unhappy and usually afraid because they are not being treated fair, like I can't even like think about something that clearly specifies what I see in this country today. A lot of people are unhappy, y'all. A lot of people are unhappy, and a lot of people are afraid. I can tell you right now, as a minority, I can definitely tell you, I feel like as a minority, we are more afraid of anything because we feel like, we never can actually get out of the situation because of what we look like. We're not accepted. Some people may feel like we should be all right with where we at, but I will never be all right where I'm at as a black man because I feel like the struggle has always been real. And the fact that if you never lived in my shoes as a black man, which you wouldn't as a person of a different color, or even if you're a minority, because certain black people feel like certain minorities get an upper hand over black folks. And I feel like that's totally unfair. Like I said, you come to this country, you should be able to pull your weight, just like I've been pulling my weight since I've been in this country. And I was born here. So people are afraid because they feel like there's no hope. Absolutely no hope for them. Absolutely no hope for their kids. Hell, no hope for a whole generation because of the fact that we don't even take into consideration like when we need change and we ask for change, the change that we ask for and the change that we request doesn't get acknowledged. The fact that you guys get these politicians, and I'm going on them. This message is clearly for them because they really need to hear. And I'm speaking for the people. So if you don't want me speaking for you, I'm going to do it anyway because they need to be hearing this shit. So for one, we can't sit there and have Secret Service. We don't have bodyguards. We don't have six-figure salaries. But we actually do exactly what you tell us to do. You know what I'm saying? You feel like, most people feel like these politicians are in a position to, dictate everything that we do. That's why I say it's like the whole Simon Says rule, because I feel like they're telling us stuff to do. And like, when we don't do it, we're either not on board, we're not online. And then we get ridiculed or even worse, we have to suffer because you're making certain things for people to suffer because they're not getting online with your ideology. They don't get online with what you believe in. And ultimately, like, if you don't believe in what people say, and if you don't believe what politicians say and you challenge them, saying you're labeled. We don't want that. We want people to be able to listen to the people that now, not all people have good intentions. Let me say that clear now. Let me perfectly be clear on that. Not all people have good intentions. We seen that within the 4 years of the last administration. It was a lot of stuff that was spewed out there that was straight bullshit. Let's call it spade a spade. Let me take some of these comments right quick. I have a couple comments coming in. I got Sean Clark. What's going on, Sean? How you doing? Yes, thank you, Sean. Yeah, but yeah, I'm telling it like it is, though, man. Like, we have people that actually spew out certain things that is not beneficial to the ear. Like, I don't want to listen to stuff that's is going to be contaminating my mind. And I definitely, if I feel like it's contaminating my mind, I don't want to contaminate my kids. I don't want to contaminate, people that look up to me and people that look up to these politicians because, like I said, you guys are held to a certain stature. You want us to do a certain thing within our realm. We hold you to a certain standard to where we feel like you need to do within your realm. You have the keys, you have the power. But like I said, when you get in that position, you forget everything that got you there. That's not even right. Let me get back to some of these comments, though. I want to talk about, like I was saying earlier, certain things that made people feel like it's hard to get out of this struggle. And I have at least I talked about a couple of them. I talked about at least three of them, but I wanted to give a little bit of input on what I feel like people feel like when it's dealing with the whole power structure within Washington D.C. or how can we sit there and just anticipate. And I feel like this comment right here is actually false to me because I can't believe this is one of the things that we actually believe in as Americans. Well, actually within the world period, but in reality, Americans aren't particularly sad. I disagree with that compared to the rest of the world. Now, in some way, shape, or form, I can disagree and I can agree because some places are way worse than what we live in, and I'm thankful for that. But in the fact, they're objectively among the happiest, and I'm trying to figure out how do you feel like America's happy? I don't see America's happy because every time I watch on the news, it's something negative that comes out of Washington D.C. Matter of fact, it's something negative that comes from almost every 50 states. I haven't seen if I could do some research and find out the happiest state in America, it'd probably be either somewhere up north like Maine or Vermont or some small state where they don't really have these type of issues. But they saying that United States ranked 19th out of 149 countries after all. I find that hard to fucking believe. If you're telling me right now we're ranked 19 out of 149 other countries and saying that we're the happiest in this world, I find that very hard to believe. And if you're content with what you see on the media, and don't fall victim to what you see on TV, because these people have to do a job too. They got to get their ratings up. They have to persuade you to follow their shows. So don't get caught up in the hype on CNN, Fox, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because they can lure you in just like a politician can lure you in, and then you get caught up. But for the most part, man, like I said, it was certain things that I feel like, when we're dealing with things in society, like, the whole COVID-19 effect, man, like this has been very traumatic. This is very personal too for me because I lost family members. I also had my son was affected with the whole COVID-19. Praise God that he's doing good, he's doing way better. Yeah, shout out to you, Markel. I love you. But with the whole COVID effect, that actually changed people's feelings because now that put us on a scare alert. Like we was literally hindered. We was literally hindered to the point to where we couldn't do nothing. Everybody in this country, everybody in the world was literally handcuffed because this COVID-19 thing had everybody on edge. It had everybody on alert. We had to be safe. Like this is something global. This wasn't just domestic. This was global. And the fact that, a lot of people lost. I think the numbers right now for the whole COVID death is almost at 800,000 in the United States. That's crazy. And, the whole, we can talk about who's to blame for this. I don't really give a damn about who's to blame. The fact is that we have people that we put in position to help us in the midst of crisis. But like I said, some people take this stuff as, well, it's not affecting me. It will somewhere down the low. It's going to affect you just like it affect millions and millions of people over in the United States right now. And what I mean it affected, I'm talking about the loss of a loved one. That's touching to me because, like I said, hit home to me, hit home very, tough, with the fact that the people that I've lost and the people that I had suffered from this thing. So the whole COVID-19 effect is really major right now. And like I said, if you're not, you can't be human if you don't feel for someone who lost a loved one. You cannot be human. That is the most things that people take to their heart. Losing a family member is the most tragic thing you can happen. And for it to be to the point to where you can almost say that the people that we put in place to make our places safer and make our community and our fellow brethren, be able to see life and enjoy life, when you feel like it's not even important and you disregard this as it's not something that people need to take serious, shame on you. You also need to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, could I have done a better job? Or could I have made a difference? Because at the end of the day, I chose not to. Now the blood is on my hands. What do I need to do? And then on top of that, too, you need to think about the fact that your day of reckoning is coming. So be noticing that God is watching. On top of that, too, we can talk about the economic story. The economy, y'all, let's be frank, the economy is all the way jacked up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so jacked up right now. Like I don't even I don't feel like, like most people right now see the economy just struggling, and they always sit here and blame, certain people. And I don't want to throw out no names, but like I said, the picture don't lie. The picture don't lie. We get these people in the position to say, well, I create jobs for my people. Anybody that votes for me, I create jobs for them. You can sit there and say that until you're blue in the face, until you be able to be put in a position. And then we're looking back at like, where are these jobs at? But remember when I told you guys, yeah, you may not think that you're being watched right now, but you will be soon. And sooner than later, if you ask for forgiveness, you better be hoping to God that he's going to forgive you, because you're taking advantage. You're actually playing God by manipulating certain things that people feel like they put their whole trust and their whole heart in, and you cannot give them the answers that they're looking for. If it's hard, you don't need to be working. If it's hard for you to do your job, you don't need to be in the position. If it's hard for you to just accept the fact that you bit off more than you could chew, give someone else an opportunity to show that they could do better. All right. We gave you the street. We gave you the instrument. We gave you the instrument. We gave you the tools. The tools is us voicing our opinion to you. The tools is us giving you that knowledge that you need, because you're not smart on everything. But with us, we will make your job better. Only thing you got to do is just listen. You just got to listen. Take the time out to just listen to what we have to say, and stop being so. Don't stop having that dictator mentality to where you feel like, you puff out your chest. You want to feel like you can't be told anything. That's not true. Humble yourself. Just because you have a title to your name doesn't mean that you're invincible. Okay. And at the end of the day, how you look at certain people, you look at them as expendable. Believe it or not, you are expendable too when it comes to voting day. And clearly that was shown when a lot of people came out and voted to get, Donald Trump out of the White House, because they felt like some of the things that he was saying was straight downright crazy. Even with the illustration up here, I know I might get in trouble for this illustration, but I thought it was, I didn't think it was funny. I didn't think it was a funny illustration. It had a lot of facts to what it was presented. So, but at the same time, that's that. Let me put that back up there, man, because I'm looking at how he actually did this within the 4 years. Yeah, it was literally like a modern day execution of everything that you see that he desecrated right there in that photo. And you can believe it or not, but hey, the facts don't lie. If he was doing a good job, he would have got reelected. Let's call it spade a spade. But a lot of people didn't feel like he was doing his part, and he was one of the inspirators of the so-called the resurrection. In fact, that's a prime example of what Simon Says is the resurrection. When he did his speech, that was him being the leader, and he had his following, which was the group of people. And like I said, he was talking to certain things, and they was doing it. But when he left, or when he changed the game around by telling him that I'm gonna be there to support you, he had an alternative motive. You know what I'm saying? And in the process, people right now, whole lives have been changed. Anybody that went to that insertion and stuff like that, it was the worst thing that you could possibly do, because now you're either a felon, some people were killed. Anybody that was there, you're going to get found by the FBI. Because they're doing the investigation. So regardless how you look at it, you should have been there in the first place, but you was following something that was a false prophet. And that's just my opinion. You don't have to take it for face value. That's just my opinion on what I saw. But everything I saw on the TV, just like millions of people that was watching it, as well as myself, felt like everything on that TV could have been avoided. But you put someone in a position to lead, and when they give you information to lead, in your heart, it's wrong. It's wrong. But in your heart, you want to follow directions because you want to be able to proceed, or you want to be able to move forward. But in all actuality, you're moving back, people. Because at the end of the day, man, when you don't have a certain stature, when you don't have the power of certain people, yes, just like Mr. Apollo Creed right here. Yeah, he lost. Facts. Straight up. He didn't get off that mat neither. Yeah. So if for people that feel like, for people to feel like, that was their inspiration, that was a leader, for people to understand that, what, I'm gonna ride with my leader, I'm gonna ride out with him, I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna take everything he say for face value. People, you're gonna fall victim to it. And when you lose royally. As some people with that insertion, they lost royally. They lost their freedom. They lost the opportunity to be able to be successful in life. They can never get a good job, you know? And it's just off of a belief of what someone was spewing to them. And it was just so convincing. Like you felt like that one person had your best interests at heart. And in all actuality, it made you look like a fool. So learn from these mistakes. Even with this administration right now, learn from it. Because like I said, in presidents that was passed, you know what I'm saying? Like every one of them learned from somebody. Do you obviously think Joe Biden did not learn from Donald Trump? I hope he did, because at the same time, yeah, and of course his numbers are plummeting right now because he did some certain things that a lot of people are questioning, because a lot of people are scared from what they see. You know what I'm saying? To give people reassurance, is to mean to give people results. When you don't give results, people start to get worried. And like I said, the economy is taking a hit. The economy's taking a hit. You know, the approval rating, the back and forth with Congress members and at Washington, it's all a big ass fiasco right now. And we are sitting back watching like, what the fuck is going on over here? What are we looking at right now? We're looking at these powerful people in Washington, D.C. acting like straight kids. And we can't do anything but just sit back and take our L's as we always do. Yes, we are taking the L's left and right. So, yeah, the whole economy thing, that's major with me. That's a big thing. But like I said, what are we to do? We got to ride this wave, people. We got to ride it until we actually start seeing results. And hopefully the results will come soon, because I'm not going to lie to you. Every time I go to the gas pump, man, I see my gas almost at $4. I'm like, damn, like, should I really even drive? And it's been like that even since now I'm gonna give Trump the benefit of the doubt on this one. When he was in the White House, gas wasn't as high as it is right now. So Donald Trump, I give you a clap for that one. But right now, Biden, what the fuck is going on with these gas prices? A lot of people are pissed off about these gas prices, yo. And and like I said, what can I do about it? Like I said, I'm just one person, just like the millions of people in this country that see the stuff that's transpired, and we feel like we're hopeless. We don't have a vision. We can't see the light. We can't even get to the promised land of something that's prosperous in our lives. And we the ones that got to suffer. They don't have to suffer because they're well off. I'm not well off by any means. I want to be well off, you know what I'm saying, just like millions of other people. But like I said, I can't position myself to be in that certain position because of, you know, I don't have the clientele. I don't have the network that some of these people have. I don't have the backing that some of these people have. I don't have the following just like some of these people have. I wish I did, because definitely I would put my name in that hat. I throw my ticket in real quick. But like I said, until I start getting backings like that, I can't make no power moves. These guys got the power moves right now, and they making them to the best of their ability, but it's not showing no results at all. Now, I want to talk about the social story. Okay, social story is major. The social story right now, it's a lot of things that I can start. I don't even know where to even begin right now, but we all know that this country is divided. We all know that this country is reeling. We all know that certain things from this country's past is starting to, you know, elevate right now, even in the present. And hopefully we could stop that. We could cut that off before it bleeds over into our future. The social disparities, the social distance that we have within the America is basically, I want to say that it's basically taught. It is a learned behavior. It's something that's been festering. It's something that really wanted to get out, but it never left this country's history. Let's be frank here. Let's be real. I don't support the fact that, you know, if a person feels like, you know, you need to disenfranchise yourself with another group of people just off the color of their skin. I don't feel like that's ethically, you know, and morally right, though. You know, coming from someone that, you know, I grew up, you know, I went to a predominantly black school, but yeah, I had white friends, or I had friends of a different race. Like I was always taught that, you know what, it's best to stay with your own, because if you go outside of that, people are not going to accept that. Why do we have to follow that lead? And why do we have to listen to people that think that is the most important thing to do, not only for what they stand for, but actually for the race itself? I can't understand why do we actually listen to people that infuriates and just think that being separate and being segregated is the right thing to do. If you feel like that's the right thing to do, you're lost. You're totally lost because you're not giving yourself the opportunity to see things from a different perspective. And I really mean that because, like I said, I wouldn't know what it is to be white. I'm not trying to be white. I'm being what I am. I want to be accepted for who I am. Don't give me pity off the color of my skin. Let me work for mine as well as anybody else. So when you feel like certain things that if you come to a point to where in your life, you feel like, yo, you know what? I can't make it. I mean, I feel like right now as a black man, I have to do extra high or go above and beyond just off the color of my skin. And that's unfortunate because, some people, and I'm not coming down on white folks at all, but like I said, some of them feel like, yo, they're already entitled just off the color of their skin or the stature that they already established. And in all actuality, that's not fair, to everybody else because we feel like we have to work even harder, just to be accepted. So I look at it to the fact to where if I'll use this scenario right here, if I have to work harder, and if someone white is right here, if I have to work harder, my average is already on their level. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna say that again. If I have to be here to be accepted, and this is a white person at this level, my average is already on your level. So that will automatically make me superior. But I don't view things like that. I don't view things like that to a degree. I don't look down on anyone. I look to everyone as an equal. As some of these people should do right now that's in Washington, D.C. You should look at everyone as an equal and not try to cause any type of division. You should look at everyone as not as a number, but look at them as a person that you can actually say that you respect. You should actually give people the benefit of a doubt to show you what diversity really means and how it could be an acceptance to how you can actually make your walk a long transition in your walk in office. Because when you create diversity, it goes a long way. When you create separation, it cuts things off quickly. You can't sit there and think when you create certain things like splitting people, having people go divided, that is going to create love and respect for one another, because that division is basically what it does. It divides everything that we stand for. As Americans, we stand for liberty, justice for all. If you think that giving justice and giving the liberty for people that don't you see in your eyes as an equal just off the color of their skin, you're basically the problem. And we have to rectify that problem by getting you out of the situation and getting you out of giving you no power to the structure that you already have. So for those people that think, like I said, I'm big on this right now because I have interracial people in my family. So for people that feel like, when you're interracial or when you feel like, segregation is a must to your own particular race, you're sadly lost right now, people. I can't give you this information to make you feel and make you understand that, diversity is very important. It is very important because we need each other. I need you as my brother, as someone of a different race, culture, religion, whatever. It doesn't even matter to me. I need you because, like I said, we are here to work together. We are here to bond with one another. And most importantly, we are here to make this world a better place, not only for you, but for our children and so on and so on. It's a generational thing. Let's inherit the love instead of splitting the love apart and creating hate to take over what is promising to one another, because we all bleed red. We all breathe the same air. We all supposed to reach out to one another. So put these people in Washington accountable for giving you information that is toxic. Hold these people accountable for creating separation. Hold these people accountable for being your leader and having you follow the lead that they portray. If you feel like in your heart is wrong, don't do it. But like I said, if you want to illustrate the whole don't do it, and Simon Says, necessarily in the game you will lose, but ultimately in your mind and in your heart, you win automatically. That is very huge for me. That's very important for me, for people to understand that, because at the end of the day, like, a lot of things are transpiring, people. I don't know if you guys watch it. Like I said earlier, I don't really like watching the news, but a lot of things is transpiring to where it's making me a believer that certain things are on the horizon. And I don't want to get too deep in it, but if somebody from a religious aspect, when I say certain things are on the horizon, they know what I'm talking about. So, like I said, with these three things, the whole COVID thing, the whole economy collapse, even the whole social theory, Let's put all that in one and let's try to make our own rules. Let's make our own rules that's going to benefit everyone, not just some. Let's make our rules to where when we speak, politicians are listening. And when we speak, we are heard. But ultimately, when we make a pact with one another, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, whatever, it doesn't matter. When you make a pact, you know what I'm saying? A pact leads by example. A pact takes care of one another. We need to lead this pact as one, not as separate entities. I mean, I just think that is very unfortunate, man, because like I said at the beginning of the show, like I said, I don't want to be told what to do, and I know it's something that's not right, but I have no other choice. There's certain things going on right now that I really don't want to talk about, because if I do, it's going to really, trigger people the wrong way. But you know what? Fuck it. I'll talk about it. Some people have the right to, their prerogative if they want to take the shot. If you don't want to take the shot, hey, to each his own. But like I said, it's here for a reason. You either can or you can't take it. A lot of people are looking at it now to where, it's detrimental that we do take this shot. And, for some people, your livelihoods is at stake, and I'm talking about your jobs, because a lot of companies, even private companies, are even getting on board now to where if you don't take the shot, there's a possibility you would not be employed with that employer. So, like that's just some of the things that people deal with all the time, man. And like, it's sad because, we didn't put ourselves in the position we're in right now. We didn't position ourselves to be in the way we are right now. We didn't ask for this COVID-19. We didn't ask for, the economy to crash, or we didn't ask for all this pure negativity within this country. It just miraculously just fell in our laps. For what? It fell in our laps for a reason. It's called waking up, people. We have to wake up, and we have to understand that things that are transpiring in our everyday lives it's a sign from something. It's a sign that maybe we need to get right, or maybe it's a sign that, the people that we put in power need to have an identity, or maybe the fact that, is it too much for the people that we give the opportunity to lead this country? Are we setting them up for failure? Because they definitely set us up for failure by some of the views that they have. They set us up for failure for, their beliefs. They set us up for failure with all the negative and the most ridiculous language that they could put out to us to listen to and endure, and we can't even do anything about it. It's sickening almost. So I would say to everyone that's even watching the show tonight or listening, in your radios or whatever, like, we can actually make a difference. We have the power to, lead a strong charge. And the charge starts right now by not being a follower, but take that place of a leader. You can actually be a leader and lead us to a road to recovery, or lead us to the promised land. Yes, I believe in people. I believe in the masses, but I only follow what's truthful, and I only follow what's going to be beneficial. So I gave the reins to certain people in Washington, but they seem like they can't handle the pressures of life. The pressures of life come with, it comes with responsibilities. But when you don't put out your work, it comes with consequences. The consequences that I feel right now that some people in Washington are not doing, you're going to have to see that on your own. But like I said, you can't honestly sit there and tell me when you go to sleep at night, you cannot honestly sit there and tell me that you've done your best. Your best obviously is not good enough, because people right now are definitely suffering. I'm suffering just along with millions and millions of people in this country right now. We want more from you guys. We don't want you guys to give us the information that you feel like is good or must-see TV. We want you to give the information that we know you could lead, and stop having us try to be something that we're not. We're not pawns. We're not pawns. We're not pieces that you could just take and just fling to the side or treat us like trash. We are people. We are human beings. We are Americans. A lot of people need to understand that. And the people that I'm telling are the people in Washington. So, I mean, it's tough for me to feel that way. Like I said, it's very hard because I feel very passionate about this thing. But, when you talk to certain people and you feel like they actually give you some insight on what's going on in the world today, you sit back and you listen to them. And you sit back and you take that and strive into where, you know what? if you have a platform, just like my platform right now with my podcast, why don't you talk about certain things like this? You know what, people? I'm talking about it right now. I'm talking about it because some people can't be the voice, or some people can't voice their opinions because they either scared or they don't want to, but they feel in their heart that if someone has the balls or the courage enough to just speak out against certain things that are unjust with everyone, not just certain people, but everyone, you're going to get that message across, and you definitely going to get heard. So, like I said, this whole debate and this whole conversation, it's not for likes. This is basically because I want to make a difference in somebody's life, not only for myself, but for anybody. Even if you're not even if you don't view me as your equal, this is particularly for you as well. I don't hate. I cannot hate at all. But I want you to understand this. Hate is a very strong word, but at the same time, love is even stronger. Love comes from everyone in all shapes and forms. Hate is something that is being displayed and being publicized, and it's also something that you learn from prior experiences. And I'm talking about, it starts from the parents, it starts from their parents, so on, so on. Break that trend, break that mold that is so treacherous in your life, to where you can see something on a different side. You can see something from a different generation. You can see something from a different point of view. Because I always told myself, unless you actually live and been through what I've been through, you could never relate what I'm going through. That's real. That's real as hell. And I'm passionate about it because that's what I feel from within my soul. My soul is hurting right now. My whole being is confused. But yeah, at the same time, for me to cry out and do this thing, do these type of shows, I feel like, when people listen, and like I said, you don't have to take my word for it, but when people listen, they can feel the compassion that's coming out my voice, and they can feel that, this guy is very passionate about certain things that he talk about. Like I said, this is not for likes, this is not for views, this is just my opinion, but I want people to understand this. I can relate to everything that you may be going through. I feel like, like I said earlier, we can lead by example, but we can lead better when we stick together. So with that being said, I feel passionate about the show. It's a great show. I just want to try to lighten up the mood right now because I feel like this is really getting emotional for me. Because like I said, the struggle is continuous. This is like an ongoing battle, and the battle that we deal with is from within, y'all. So let's try to incorporate certain things, but at the end of the day, let's try to do better, and let's hold certain people accountable for the neglect that they did to so many people, and the fact that we give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's hold them accountable for when they're not in position to make decisions for each other. So with that being said, I'm going to lighten the mood, and I'm going to go in something that I always do every week on Heavy Hitters. I basically have a segment called, most people know about this segment. I got a segment called What the Fuck? Yes, I'm going to go ahead and put the thing up there right now. Y'all saw the WTF, What the Fuck? Yes, this segment is very, very entertaining, but I have to go in on a couple of things that I've been seeing within the celebrity world. Also, I wanted to go in on a couple of things that, may be going on right now in the sports realm, because everybody knows that the NBA season actually started yesterday. I'm missing my games right now. I'm pulling for my Knicks, that hard Knicks fan. So I hope they beat the shit out of who they playing tonight. Somebody send me a message and tell me who the Knicks playing, but I know they playing tonight. But I hope they playing the Celtics. Yes, I hope we give the Celtics that L tonight. Big L to the people in Boston. But yeah, on the segment of What the Fuck tonight, man, I just want to talk about Mr. Kanye West, y'all. Yes, Kanye. For some reason, Kanye just wants to be in the media. Yes, he is a false dude. He is a false prophet, claimed to be. But yo, let's talk about old Mr. Kanye West right here, y'all. Kanye came out and he tried to make a statement. Man, Kanye came out and he, everybody know Kanye is the attention getter. He always want to be the center of attention. But for Kanye to come out here like this, man, like, damn, man, what the, I gotta understand, man, what the fuck was Kanye thinking, man? What the fuck is this, yo? Kanye, really? Who the fuck will let you even go out the house like that, man? Like that's not a bad hair day, man. Kanye out here looking like Balrog from Street Fighter. Y'all remember Ball Rod, the black boxing step from Street Fighter with the fucked up haircut and the boxing gloves and shit with blue shorts on? Kanye out here looking like him, man. Who the fuck will let Kanye go out? Kim? Well, he's not with Kim anymore. But yo, Kanye, what the fuck were you thinking, bruh? Damn, yo, I saw that shit. I was like, God, Kanye, really? Like, I see that when I see Balrog from Street Fighter. You know better than that, Kanye. Kanye West, I heard your album was trash, and I ain't heard nobody talk about it. But this haircut, Kanye, what the fuck were you thinking, bro? That haircut is treacherous. You might as well go like me right now, yo. Because if that shit grow back, it's going to grow back thicker where you ain't got no fucking hair at, Kanye. Look at this shit, man. Your shit going to grow back thicker where you ain't got no hair, and then where you do have hair, that shit going to be like, oh, my God. That shit just like some kid just scribbled on a board, man. Yeah, man, rest in peace, man. Bullrog, yo. Kanye done stole your haircut, man. So nobody can't talk about you, but they definitely can talk about Kanye, man. Real talk, man. If my hair ever gets that bad, somebody better tell me to cut that shit off. Because Kanye need to cut that shit off. Because that shit is terrible. Kanye, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And I don't know why you trying to get attention. Your album is terrible. Like you said, cut that shit off, Kanye. That's not cool, man. You need to stop that shit. If you're trying to get attention for that shit, man, you need to do better. But don't feel bad, though, Kanye. You're not by yourself. You're not by yourself with fucked up haircuts, man. Everybody saw Brooklyn and who was Brooklyn? The Brooklyn Nets was playing the Milwaukee Bucks last night. Everybody saw that game. Everybody know who Kevin Durant is, man. Everybody know who Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant came out there, yo, he was doing his thing. Yeah, he busting for 30, but damn, Kevin Durant. What the fuck is that shit? God damn, man, listen. Kanye haircut was fucked up. But for Kevin Durant to walk out the house with his shit looking like that, man, what the fuck? Where the fuck is your barber at, Kevin Durant? Your shit looking like that, man. That shit look like some fucking... Look at this shit right here, y'all. This shit don't make no damn sense, man. Look at this shit right here, man. You make all this money, man. Your hair here looking like some fucking... some cooked hamburger for hamburger help and shit. Kevin Durant, you ought to be kicked in your ass for that shit, man. And you up here smiling like that shit look cool. That shit is terrible. What the fuck are you laughing at? You can't be laughing at somebody else here. Look at your shit, Kevin Durant. I mean, goddamn, your shit looking like this man titties right here, man. Look at that shit. That's exactly what your and he a Q dog. Ooh, yo, boy. Man, he made all Q dogs look bad with that picture right there. But Kevin Durant, yeah, that hamburger meat on top of your head, bro. You can't blend that shit in. You need to go ball like your boy Grady too, man. Real talk, man. Yeah, cut that shit off. Yes, tell him again, Samuel Jackson, because he ain't got nothing what the fuck you got in your shit right now, Samuel. Yeah, tell him to cut that shit out. But for Kevin Durant to walk out in public, man, with his shit looking like that, Kevin Durant, what the fuck? I'm sorry, man. That shit is, you make too much money for that shit, man. Even if you got to spray that shit in, you can even get hair plugs, Kevin Durant. I saw another picture of Kevin Durant, and that shit was terrible. He tried to grow that shit out. How the fuck you gonna grow that shit out and that shit looking like that? But yo, at the end of the day, hey, that's KD. He's getting paid. He can give two damns about people laughing at his hair. I laugh at that shit every time I see him on TV. Because I'm like, bruh, yeah. And then you got a nerve to wear a fucking do-rag. What the fuck are you covering? That skin? That's all you got up there. Nothing but skin, bro. Cut that shit off, Kevin Durant. Be real with yourself, bro. You know what I'm saying? You a bomb-ass basketball player, but your haircut game is fucked up. Now, last but not least, man, I was on the internet and I saw something that was funny as hell to me. I don't know if it's real or fake, but when I saw this shit right here, man, in the papers, man, I saw this shit. Yo, pay attention to the man's fucking name, though. The man's name is Mo Lester. Yes, Mo Lester. The man even looked like a fucking molester. And rest in peace. If this is real, rest in peace to him. But for somebody that gave him that name, man, what the fuck, yo? What the fuck were y'all thinking when y'all gave this man that name? I bet you he was traumatized when he was going through school. Anybody see this man's name? Hey, man, here comes Mo Lester coming. Mo Lester's coming. Every kid in the neighborhood is running. Every kid in the neighborhood is running just off his fucking name. So for the mom and dad that gave Mr. Lester, I'm going to say Mr. Lester because I don't want to say the whole name because I don't want people to think he's a fucking pedophile and shit. But if this shit is real, man, what the fuck to the parents that gave him that name? Y'all should be kicked in y'all ass for giving y'all son that fucked up name. All right? Yo, that's going to be it for me, man. I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here, man. I hope the show was pretty much influential to the people that was watching. I hope it was a great topic for people to understand. But like I said in the topic, man, with the whole Simon Says thing, like we don't have to follow the lead. We don't have to follow people just to be accepted, or we don't have to follow people to make it seem like we're going to win. In all actuality, we follow people, and at the end of the point, we always lose. So we don't have to take initiative on yourself. If you feel like something that is not in your heart ethically right, don't do it. Don't look at it as you losing, but look at the fact that you can sit here and say, you know what, I'm going against the grain, but I'm going against the grain for a good reason. Take that in consideration, but most importantly, lead by example, and don't have people lead you into a bottomless pit. I'm going to sign off with that right there, man. You guys be safe. I'll see you guys next week for another episode of Heavy Hitters. Thank y'all for supporting your boy. I will see y'all next Wednesday at 7 p.m. on the dot. Every Wednesday, Heavy Hitters. Y'all be safe. I love you. Stay up. Peace.